Doctor, can we ask regarding? Yeah, sure. What is the question regarding question assignment 1? Do you have any problem for question 1? Oh, assignment 1, sorry.
Dr. Zila here.
Yes.
Yang assignment 1 tu, question 4 untuk EFA kan?
Okay.
So, kita orang tak ada idea macam mana nak jawab how to present the table tu. Lepas tu how to interpret. Sebab kita tengok
masalah yang sama. Kami kan
sebab kita tengok
kami pun tak dapat.
Kita tengok contoh-contoh online kan dekat thesis kan, semua macam tak faham lah doktor sebenarnya, macam tu lah lebih kurang.
Ni bagi jawapan ni. Ayo.
Tak ada. Kita orang dah run dah test tu kan dekat SPSS dah run dah kan. So macam nak interpret dengan nak present tu, macam mana kita nak summary-kan everything in a table? Macam tu lah.
Ada benda yang there is something that we can present in table, but there's some that we cannot. Ada benda yang boleh, ada benda yang tak boleh. Okay, saya buka balik lecture lama. EDA, exploratory data analysis. That one betul lah EDA, right?
EFA doktor.
EFA doktor.
Factor analysis.
Okay, kejap. Tak factor analysis. Saya mencari lecture note kejap. Okay, construct validation. So assignment tu tanya soalan dia. Okay, based on Q1 and Q2 in assignment 6. Ni sebab assignment 6 tak buat lagi kan. Okay, so report run the possible analysis. Ni question berapa? EDA. Masya Allah. Saya tengok EDA. Assignment. This one was first assignment, right?
Ya, doktor. Question number 4. Only question number 4 dia tak dapat.
Okay, kejap. Kita nak cover. Question number 4. Run the construct validation using exploratory factor data analysis. Okay, run the construct validation. Okay, so in presenting the construct validation is one. Okay, you just present what you need to present is this value. Factor validation, bukan? Ni. Petition bukan. Just present like this lah. This is how you should present. Ni? Sebab ni. Okay, first the community table ni. Dia memang kena ada lah. Kalau when you present the factor analysis, then this is how you should present. First the communalities, okay, then how much the what has been explained through the communalities, okay, and then total variance explained. The second one is this table, okay, but you just change, make sure that you change the table according to the APA style lah. Okay, but in terms of the interpretation, this is how you should interpret. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, and then this is the table. Okay, so from the table and then the script plot. This is wajib. And dia ada 3, hak ni tak wajib ni. Hak ni, this one basically, okay. The first one, communality table. This is the compulsory. This one ni. Total variance explain. This is you need to report. Okay, the next one. Okay, the script plot. Kalau you all tengok if you see any article that is related to factor analysis, exploratory factor analysis, they will report the script plot. Okay, how to interpret the script plot? Ni macam kat sebelah ni. Sebelah ni. Gini je, simple je. Okay, and then next one, this one. This one ni report lah. Okay, because this one it will describe to us how many subscale actually how many subconstruct actually exist in your data. Even though you run the data from the data set, it is actually from the one construct. But after you run the EFA, there is a possibility that this one construct is actually can be divided into another two subconstruct. If you can see from this one PB1, PB6, PB7, PB8 until PB4. Okay, it has higher values, correlation value for first category. Okay, but PB2 and PB3, okay, it score higher in the second category. Meaning that these two is actually represent another thing, even though possibly it is still under the philanthropic behavior, but there might be another construct which is different from this SIG item. Faham? Yeah, ni two variables ni, two subscale lah, two sub-variable. Okay, faham Ini je macam mana nak report ni, macam gini je. Kena ada tu.
Doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, about this one. So when we running the construct, all semua kena letak sekali ke? Yang like the question is PB, SD and SNS. Either construct. So we run together or we separate run it.
If you run it together,
it will be very messy.
Just try to run it individually. Okay, because we know that the items already constructed according to the existing literature, because the item been adapted from the existing instrument. So try to just run it individually. But in the case where you just develop the instrument, in which you develop the instrument yourself, okay, this is the practice when you develop the instrument yourself, in which the instrument is just newly constructed by you. Okay, when you run the EFA, you need to run with the whole items at one shot. But if you run this EFA for the instrument that has been developed by others and then it has been proven for their validity and reliability, you can just run it individually. Yeah?
Clear. But got one problem that I post in the WhatsApp for the SNS construct. The Kaizen don't have the Kaizen answer.
Dia tak keluar
Become correlation matrix.
It's okay. But this one is just to measure the to measure the sampling adequacy only. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. Kalau tak ada ni pun it's okay. Should be no problem. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So any other question? Ni buat soalan jawab sendiri ni. Okay. So next one. Okay, so next, so this week we focus on another types of comparison analysis, which is the ANOVA, one-way ANOVA. Okay, so this is the objective. Okay, so at the end of the session, you are able to determine the types of parametric statistic for comparing mean, Okay, so and then you are able to determine statistical assumption for comparing means specifically on ANOVA, and then you are able to analyze and interpret the one-way ANOVA and then report result based on APA style. Okay, so this one is just the repetition from what you learned with Prof. Bahaman. Okay, so in terms of the history, one-way ANOVA, one-way ANOVA represent the one-way analysis of variance. Okay, one-way ANOVA meaning that there is only one variable that being compared in your study. Okay, there is only one grouping that consists of 3 groups. Okay. So in terms of the history, okay, so the initial technique of the analysis of variance was developed by the statistician and geneticist R.A. Fisher in the 1920s and 1930s. Okay, so ANOVA is sometimes known as Fisher's ANOVA or Fisher's analysis of variance due to the use of Fisher's F distribution as part of the test of statistical significance. Okay, so one-way ANOVA is actually the extension of two sample t-test or independent sample t-test. Okay, so in which we use to determine whether there are differences among more than 2 groups. If you can recall, okay, the independent sample t-test, we compare one variables in terms of 2 grouping. Okay, for example, we want to compare the achievement between male and female student. Okay, we only have 2 groups. Okay, for comparison. But this one, okay, for for one-way ANOVA, we just add another grouping. For example, we want to compare the achievement, the student achievement according to race. Okay, according to race. For example, we have Malay, Chinese, and Indian. For example, we compare. So now we have 3 groups. Okay. So it is also known as one factor ANOVA because we only have one categorical group only. We have one categorical group, which is, for example, race with 3 groups, and when we have the dependent variable, which is continuous variable. Okay, so the purpose and requirement. So the purpose is for one-way ANOVA is we want to compare differences between more than 2 groups mean. Okay, more than 2 groups means that it can be 3 and more. Okay, the requirement is the dependent variable must be in interval or ratio only. Our DV, the scale of measurement for our dependent variable, only must be in interval or ratio. Meanwhile, for our independent variable, it can be in categorical form. Either it is nominal or ordinal, as long as the group number must be more than 2. Okay, the group number must be more than 2. Okay, in terms of the assumptions, okay, so the first one is the assumption the dependent variable must be normally distributed for each of the populations as defined by the different level of the factor, which is independent variable. This one, I thought I need to show you on how we can get this value. Last time I thought I forgot to show you on how to how to make sure that each grouping has been normally distributed. Because previously, most of us, when we run the normality, it is based on general variable only. Am I correct? Bila kita buat normality tu based on general variable only. Betul tak? Ini saya tunjuk macam mana nak buat. Okay, perhaps you may open your dataset now. While waiting for me to open my own dataset. So ni lambat sikit. Lambatlah pula. Okay. Okay. Okay, I thought last week there's one of you that asked me about the function of the function of factor list in explore function in statistics. Okay, now we can get how to run the normality according to factor. Okay, so to run the normality according to factor, just click analyze, descriptive, and then click explore. Analyze, descriptive, and explore. Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay, so analyze. Okay, so again, analyze, descriptive, statistic, and explore. And then after that, after that, the explore box appear. You just locate your variable here. For example, I want to compare, okay, philanthropic behavior among different races. For example, different races. So my dependent list will be philanthropic behavior, PB mean, and I locate under dependent list. Okay, and then for factor list, okay, I locate the rates under factor list. Okay, then I click statistic. Okay, nothing much here. Plots. Okay, for plots, I tick for normality because I want to check the normality according to the three different races. Okay, and then I click continue and then click OK. Okay. Share output. Okay, so this is the output. Okay, and then as you can see now the result, they prepare the result according to different races. Okay, right? They provide the result of normality according to different races. Okay, so if you study, you are interested to determine the comparison. Okay, so this is how you can determine the normality. Okay, if there is any objective related to comparison in your study, meaning that you need to provide the normality result according to the grouping like this, not based on overall variable. Because earlier we ran the normality according to the philanthropic behavior without any division, right? Division according to the races. But this one, okay, since we have one objective on comparing, so therefore we need to run the EDA, which is the normality test according to the grouping. Okay, Malay. So for example, for Malay, so the skewness is negative 1.45, still within the range of plus minus 2, therefore it's considered to be normal. So this first meet the assumption of normality. Okay, this is for first one. The second one, which is Chinese. Okay, so the skewness for Chinese is 0.565. So still within the range of plus minus 2, therefore it's considered to be normal. So the last one, which is Indian. Okay, so the skewness value is 0.731, still within the range of plus minus 2. Therefore, we assume that it is also within it is also considered to be normal. So back to our slide. Okay, so therefore from that, okay, from the result, therefore we can conclude that, okay, okay, so we can conclude that the dependent variable is normally distributed. Okay, This is how you should perform when you have the comparison objective. Okay, clear? Any question? Ada? Okay, so the variance of the dependent variable are the same for all population, meaning that you also need to proceed with test of equality of variance. Okay, how we can test for equality of variance? Through what is the specific statistic to test for homogeneity of variance?
Levin test.
Levin test. Okay, very good. Okay, Levin test. Okay, so I thought we already done during the EDA, right? Done. And then the cases represent random sample, okay, from the population, and the scores of the test are independent of each other. So this one again, we cannot statistically test the randomization. So this one is depend on the researcher. Okay. Yang kita boleh test dua ni je, first and second. Okay, but these are the three assumptions that we must fulfill if we want to do the ANOVA, one-way ANOVA. Okay, next one. Okay, rationale for ANOVA. So basic in ANOVA, so this is the basis of comparison for ANOVA. So total variance is partitioned into between group and within group. If you still remember the manual calculation for one-way ANOVA, okay, we partition the calculation for either we partition the total variance ni for between group and within group. Between group, within group. So the difference is considered significant if the between group is bigger than within group. And because in comparison in ANOVA, we want to know the difference between group instead of within group. Okay. And then, okay, so this one this is from Prof. Bahaman's slide. Okay, so which of the following data sets indicate differences between the two groups? Which one? Data 1 or data 2 that indicate the differences between group? Alamak. Data 1 or data 2? Adi Putra sebab dia selalu banyak tanya. Data 1 or data 2? This one is already in Prof. Bahaman's slide. That's why credited goes to Prof. Bahaman. Bukan semalam ke bawah ambil statistik? Data 1 or data 2? For comparison to which group that has differences between group? Lama. Which group?
1. Data 1.
Macam 1.
1. Yes. From which value that you refer to?
Range.
Okay. So when we want to compare between group, then we use the range. Right, the range. But if we want to know the differences within the group, then therefore we refer to mean. Right, for second group ni, if you are interested to know the differences within the group, then you refer to mean. If you are interested to know the difference between group, then you refer to range. Okay. Okay, so
data 2 pun ada range?
ada. Dia ada mana? Mana?
Ada range 5 and 5?
Dia ada range, but the range is similar.
Oh, okay. But still we can compare lah.
Okay.
Meaning that they are the same.
Macam ni, Allah. Okay, means that if you want to compare, if you know the differences between group, we refer to the range so that we can see that the range is obvious. Meaning that the value for range ni kan, we know that maksudnya nak cakap, if we want to know the comparison, we want to compare between group, okay, if the higher value for range ni indicate that there is a difference. Okay, betul lah saya yang pening. Okay, sorry. Okay, Because for the first data ni, okay, we can see, okay, the group for data A, for data 1 ni, compare group A, group B better than group A. Okay, based on range value ni. Yeah. But for data group B, okay, range is similar but mean. Okay, ke saya yang pening kejap. So data A 17, 19 range. So between group. Range 19. Mean sama. Sorry. The data with higher differences is group B lah. Data set B. Yes, data set B, not data set A. Data set 1, not. Data set B. Data set A. Sorry ya Allah. Data set 2. This one, not data set 1. Why?
Data set 2.
Yes, data set 2. Why? Because the mean ni, referring to the mean. Allah, saya ni pelaut tadi. Okay, referring to the mean. Okay, so according to the group data set group 1, okay, so as you can see that even though the range is different, there are two differences, 19 to 70, but our interest is we want to compare between group, not within group. So we refer to the mean value here. Okay, even though for the first data we can see that the mean difference is quite similar. The difference is only 0.1. Group 1 and group 2. Okay, but for data 2, okay, so the differences in mean is large, which is 13.3. So that's why data 2 has significant difference compared to data 1. Clear? Ni faham?
Faham.
Sorry, saya yang tadi ke laut. Okay, so significant difference for data set with between group variance larger than within group variance. So between should be within. Between should be within. Should be better than within. Okay. So for this one-way ANOVA, so what to expect is first you are able to run the analysis in IBM SPSS, and then you are able to read the post hoc comparison output, and then you report the effect size. Okay. So this is the step. Okay, first you run the analysis and then you compare either there is a significant difference or not. If there is a significant difference between the group, then we proceed with post hoc comparison. Okay, what is the purpose of post hoc comparison? Because we want to know which specific group that is significantly different. Okay, and the next one is we report the eta square. Okay, but if there is no significant difference, no need for us to proceed with post hoc comparison. Okay. Next one. Okay, so what is post hoc comparison? So when the null hypothesis is rejected, the conclusion just indicate a significant mean difference among the group. Okay, so mean that if let's say we able to prove our research hypothesis, then therefore it just indicate that a significant mean difference, there is a significant mean difference in our group of the variable. To identify pair of group, this is or are significantly different. Okay, we use the post hoc comparison. So then we use Tukey HSD, which is honestly significant different for this purpose. Okay, so the criteria is similar. Okay. Okay, so next one is effect size, in which we report the eta squared, which is referring to the percentage of variance in the dependent variable accounted for by the independent variable. Okay, so the way we interpret eta squared is similar to the R squared. Apa dia? What is R squared? Small r referring to small r.
Correlation.
Correlation apa?
Pearson.
Correlation?
Pearson.
Correlation coefficient. Kalau RE Pearson correlation coefficient. RS Spearman correlation coefficient. Okay, but R square
Multiple.
Coefficient of determination.
R, what is R?
Relation.
Coefficient of determination.
R square is coefficient of determination. Okay. So the way we interpret the R square is, the way we interpret the eta square is similar with the way we interpret coefficient of determination. Okay. Dia main sebut je. Okay. So eta square equation is sum square between divide by sum square total. So this is the equation for eta square. Sum square between divide by sum square total. Okay, so next another statistic that you can report to that you can use to report the effects size is omega square. Okay, so amount omega square also referring to the amount of variance in the dependent variable attributed to the independent variable. So this is the equation for omega square. Okay, so again, what you need to know, run the analysis in IBM SPSS, identify the required statistic. Okay, and then determine the alpha, decide and present. Okay, and then interpret the R square, interpret and report. Okay, so next one, you can determine the confidence interval and effect size. Okay. Okay, to run the analysis, okay, are you ready? To run the analysis in IBM SPSS, now you just click analyze, click compare mean, and then click one-way ANOVA. Analyze, compare mean, and one-way ANOVA. Then analyze, compare mean, one-way ANOVA. Okay, and then after the one-way ANOVA box appear, you just locate your DV, your variable that you want to compare under the dependent list. For example, PV mean. Okay, and then for factor, you just locate the grouping that you want to make the comparison. Okay, for example, in this case, education. Okay, and then you click the post hoc comparison. Sorry, click post hoc. Click post hoc. Okay, and then you tick for 2 key. Okay, click for 2 key. Okay, and then click OK, and then next one, click option. Then
Doktor, Tuki ada dua. Tuki mana satu Tuki. Oh, Tuki orang.
Tuki. Bukan Tukis B, Tuki je. Okay, next one, click continue, and then after that, click option. Okay, and then under option, you tick for descriptive, homogeneity of variance test, and means plot. Then,
Doktor.
okay, and then click continue, and then click OK. Okay, so this is your result. Okay, so we have based on the data descriptive table, we can see that there are 3 types of education level: diploma, bachelor, master, and PhD. Okay, so the descriptive ni will provide you with the mean value. Okay, first it will provide you with the number of respondents according to the grouping. Okay, the second one, the mean for each group. Okay, the third one is the standard deviation. Okay, and then next one, if you want to report on the confidence interval, so this is the one. Okay, lower bound, upper bound, this one. And then the minimum and maximum. Okay, and then the second one is the test of homogeneity variance. Test of homogeneity of variance. So this is how you can check. Okay, so we refer to the significant value. Okay, since the significant value 0.798 is larger than alpha. Okay, since the significant value is larger than alpha 0.05, so we can conclude that our data met the assumption of equality of variance. Okay, again, since the significant value of Levin statistic equals to 0.798, okay, which is larger than alpha 0.05. Therefore, we can consider our data met the assumption of equality of variance. It also assumed to be a valid data. Clear? Okay. So next one. Okay, so based on next table, the ANOVA table. Okay, so based on ANOVA table, which sum of square that we need to report? Between group or within group? Tadi dah ajar. Which one that is more, that we are interested more? Between groups or within group?
Between.
So between group, this is what we need to focus on. Okay, within group, between group. Okay, so this is the degree of freedom. Okay, and then this is the mean square. Okay, so based on this table, we focus on the F and significant F. Okay, so what we need to highlight is first the F value and then the significant F. Okay, F and significant F. Okay, so based on the result, kita nak keluar lah ni. Okay, so based on the result. Okay, so since significant value 0.999 larger or lesser than alpha?
Larger.
Larger. Since the significant value of 0.999 is larger than alpha 0.05, therefore we reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis.
Fail to reject.
We fail to reject the null hypothesis. So therefore we can conclude that there is no significant difference. Okay. So ini maksudnya ini je dulu maksudnya this is the value that we need to focus on, F and significant F. Okay. So next one is the the post hoc comparison table. Okay, so if there is no significant difference here, okay, if there is no significant difference in here, there is no need for us to report the post hoc comparison. Okay, if there is no significant difference in here, so therefore no need for us to proceed further to report the post hoc comparison table. Okay. Okay, so in overall, so this is one. This is another comparison so this is another result. Okay. Okay, and then we set the alpha, this one. Okay, and then decide and present result. Okay, so this is what we report just now So since significant F 0.999 larger than alpha 0.05, therefore there is no significant mean difference in philanthropic behavior among the three groups at 0.05 level of significant. Before I forgot, when you report, please do not forget the word mean. Because in t-test and one-way ANOVA, what we want to compare is the mean. Okay, do not forget to mention the mean. There is a significant mean difference in philanthropic behavior among the three groups at 0.05 level of significant. Okay. Next one. This is how you can present your one-way ANOVA table in APA style. Okay, so the first one, what we need is the variable, which is level of education. You present the 4 categories of a level of education: diploma, bachelor, master, and PhD. And N, number of sample according to the grouping, the mean, standard deviation, the F value, and significant F. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Then next one, how to calculate the effect size. You just plug in the value of sum square between and sum square total, which you can get from the earlier table. This one. This one. Okay, so this is where you can get the sum square between and sum square total. This one, sum square between, and then this one is sum square total. Okay. Okay. Okay, you just plug in the value into the equation of eta squared. Okay, so sum squared between divided by sum square total. So equals to 0.007 divided by 13.348. Okay, so eta squared equals to 0.0052. So according to the table, okay, so 0.00052 is lesser than even 0.01. So means that the effect size is considered to be very small or negligible. Okay, but when we use the omega square, we just plug in the value, okay, into the equation, then we get the negative 0.052, which is also considered to be a very small effect size. Tapi this one medium. Small lah, sorry, small. Right, small. If we use the eta square, it considered to be small effect size, regardless of the symbol. Tapi sepatutnya kalau sini ni, sepatutnya dia akan positif. Supposedly eta square, there is a positive value for eta square. This one minus. Okay, tapi consider small lah, consider still to be considered small. Okay, next one. Okay, so this is for the second example. Okay, you just plug in the value, okay, and then you get the 0.42 for eta square. Meanwhile, for omega square, you get the 0.38. Okay, so in which it still consider, this one still considered to be large effect size. This one for the second result. Okay, this is how to interpret. Okay, so a one-way ANOVA was conducted to test whether philanthropic behavior is significantly different across different level of education. So the results indicated in table 1 indicated that there is no significant difference in philanthropic behavior between different level of education, with F degree of freedom 3 equals to 0.1, significant value equals to 0.999. So the effect size, which is eta squared, was 0.00052, considered to be very small. Okay, so this is the SIG APA format to report your finding. Okay, senang je kan?
Doktor,
Yes.
we don't put the word mean there ke doktor? There is no significant mean difference.
There is no significant mean difference. Mana set. Betul. Set. One-way ANOVA was conducted to test whether there is a significantly mean difference. Okay, so this here, ni saya ada terlupa lagi satu report the mean value for each group. Mean, standard deviation for each group. Alang Adik Putra dah sebut tu, saya sebut terus. Okay, report the mean and standard deviation for each group. Okay. Left? Yeah. Okay, so this is for the second one. Okay, a one-way ANOVA was conducted to test whether expected injury is significantly different across different car size. Okay, so the result as in table 1 indicated that there is a significant mean difference in expected injury between 3 different car size, with F2, F degree of freedom 2 equals to 10.929, P equals to 0.000. According to post hoc comparison result, mid size M equals to 23.91 and full size mean equals to 19.82 were both caused with significantly higher degree of injury than did the crossover SUV. Note the association significant values of 0.000 and 0.008. The effect size of eta squared was 0.42, considered to be huge. This one saya cuma terlupa masukkan standard deviation. Okay, another thing is standard deviation. When you report mean, you should also report the standard deviation, just like sibling. Okay, same goes to this one. F value and significant F. Okay, when we make the decision, we refer to the significant F. But when you report, please make sure that you report both the F and significant F. Report kena ada dua-dua. Okay. Ni tambah mean difference, significantly mean difference. Okay. Okay, done. So any questions so far? Any question to ask regarding the post hoc? Tak ada tu kat situ tu post hoc comparison tu. Any question? Ke tak ada apa yang nak ditanya? Tak tahu apa yang nak ditanya? Okay. Before I forgot lah sebab kita dah kat slide ni. Okay, so again
Doktor, tadi yang eta dengan omega tu either or kan doktor?
Either one, yes, either one. You can report either one. Okay. Okay, this one I just want to highlight this one. Perhaps some of you just first time heard about post hoc comparison. Okay. In the first data, in the first finding, mana dah tadi? Okay, in our first finding, there is no significant difference in the group. Okay. Okay. So in our data set, in our first data set, there is no significant difference in the mean between the three groups. So therefore, no need for us to proceed reporting the result in post hoc test. Okay, so there, so we just stop after we report that that there is no significant mean difference in here. But okay, according to the second example, okay, this one is the second example. Okay. So based on the second example, we compare according to the injury according to different size of, according to different types of car, mid-size, full size, and crossover SUV. So there are three size of cars. Okay, so this is, we want to compare the expected injury. Okay, so based on the result, okay, so this is the result. This is the result. Okay, so based on the result, okay, since the significant value 0.00 lesser than alpha 0.05, therefore there is a significant difference in terms of expected injury between three types of cars. Okay, faham? You want me to repeat? Faham? Faham?
Faham betul.
Kat sini ke kat bazar lagi? Dah kat bazar. Okay, again. Okay, for the second example ni, okay, we want to compare the expected injury, which is the expected injury is our dependent variable, against different types of cars, different size of cars. Sorry, we have three size, mid-size, full size, and crossover. So this is our IV, which is three categories. Okay, so now we want to know either there is a difference or not. We refer to the F and significant F. Okay, so based on the value of significant F, okay, so since the significant F lesser than alpha 0.05, therefore we can conclude that there is a significant difference in the types in expected injury between three different size of cars, correct? Betul tak? Betul kan? Okay, so since there is a significant difference, based on this result, we do not know which one is significantly different. We know that there is a significant difference, but we do not know which pair that is specifically significantly different. We do not know either mid-size is significantly different with full size, or mid-size significantly different with crossover, or full size significantly different with crossover. Based on the result, we do not know. We just know that there is a significant difference. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then when your result here is significant, therefore you need to report further on post hoc comparison, which is under the post hoc comparison, it will specify which pairs that is significantly different. Okay, so then you can refer for the first pair, for example, okay, mid-size car and full-size car. Okay, so you see the result. Okay, so this is, tak lawa lah pula. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, when we compare the mid-size car and full-size car, okay, so the significant difference is 0.406. Okay, so the significant value is 0.406, which is larger than alpha. Therefore, there is no significant difference in expected injury between mid-size car and full-size car. Okay, second one, between mid-size car and crossover. Okay, so we refer to the significant value. Since the significant value is 0.000, okay, the value is lesser than alpha 0.05. Therefore, we can conclude that there is a significant mean difference in expected injury between mid-size car and crossover SUV. Okay, so this is how you can report. Okay, so next one is this one, full size and crossover. Okay, so again, we refer to the significant value. Okay, so since the significant value is 0.008 lesser than alpha 0.05, therefore we can conclude that there is a significant mean difference in expected injury between full-size car and crossover SUV. Okay, clear? Clear?
Clear.
Okay, so I need to repeat. Okay, so we are done on one-way ANOVA. Habis dah on one-way ANOVA. Okay, now we want to enter on new topic, which is two-way ANOVA. Tak ada soalan one-way ANOVA? Senang je, saya refresh balik je. Oh, attendance kejap. Saya settingkan attendance kejap. Saya tak masukkan lagi attendance rupanya. Saya masukkan lecture note je tadi. Okay dah. Please don't forget to mark your attendance ya. Okay. Next one is mean comparison. Okay. So this is the new topic, which is on a general linear model two-way ANOVA, which is the mean comparison analysis under interaction effect test. Okay. So bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ini payah sikit sebab tak pernah belajar lagi ni. Susah sikit. Okay, at the end of the sessions, okay, students are able to define two-way ANOVA, which is the interaction effect test. Okay, the interaction effect test. Okay, you are able to describe the purpose of two-way ANOVA. You are able to determine the data requirement and steps in two-way ANOVA analysis, determine two types of effects in two-way ANOVA, and then report results according to the SIG APA style. Okay, so this is the objective, okay, to determine the function of two-way ANOVA, statistical assumption for comparing mean, data requirement for two-way ANOVA, analyze and interpret two-way ANOVA and report results based on APA style. Okay, so two-way ANOVA is also known as two-factor analysis of variance or ANOVA, or two-way between subject ANOVA. Another term that been used interchangeably is two-factor hierarchical design. If you conduct the research design, so this one, when your study use the two-way ANOVA, the design also can be known as two-factor hierarchical design. Okay. So the application is, okay, in experimental studies. If your study is using the experimental studies, or you use the quasi-experimental studies or field studies. Pernah dengar tak quasi-experimental ni? Have you ever heard about quasi-experimental? No. When we use the quasi, saja tanya. Because this one, okay, if compared to the if you want to compare the regression analysis, two-factor ANOVA ni, it can determine the cause and effect. It can determine the cause and effect. If you use regression and using the cross-sectional study, okay, you should be careful with the term influence that you use. When you use the cross-sectional study and then you use multiple linear regression, for example, in your study, you should be careful in the term of influence. Okay, because sometimes the reviewer assume even though you use regression, you cannot say, you cannot conclude that your IV influence your DV. Ni another level sebab dah nak habis kan. So sebelum ni we learn that when we use the regression, we can say that IV influence DV. Right? Be careful. Okay? Because if you use cross-sectional study, we cannot simply determine the cause and effect. But if you use the two-factor ANOVA, you can come up with the conclusion that your IV influence your DV. This one boleh. Okay? Am I confusing you?
Jadi takut sebab dah tertulis banyak benda dah.
Be careful je, be careful. But as far as I know, in our faculty, it is still acceptable, okay, to use that IV influence DV. Okay, but in general, you should know that when you submit your article, if let's say you submit your article to the international journal, okay, some of the reviewer might comment that you should be very careful with the usage of a multiple linear regression because it cannot determine the cause and effect. It can, you can know the prediction, you can come up with the prediction equation, but you cannot determine the cause and effect. Cause and effect. Okay. Okay. So the purpose is to find a significant difference between groups or population by comparing the means of those groups on some variable of interest. So the first purpose of by using the two-way ANOVA is similar of using one-way ANOVA. Similar because you want to find the significant mean differences between group. Okay, similar like independent sample t-test. You want to get the significant mean difference between the groups. Okay, another objective, which is to evaluate mean differences between two or more treatment. Ni another objective lah. Dia ada lagi satu. Ada lagi satu. So this is the illustration. If you use one-way ANOVA, okay, if you use one-way ANOVA, you only has one categorical independent variable. For example, this one je. For example, your dependent variable is MAC achievement test score, in which you want to in one-way ANOVA you want to compare different size of class. You want to compare the MAC achievement, mathematics achievement between different size of classes, small class, medium class, and large class. So this one in one-way ANOVA, one way. Okay, but in two-way ANOVA we just add another categorical variable. Okay, we just add the second categorical variable, which is the second categorical variable ni, the number of group can be 2 or more. Okay. In one-way ANOVA, the first variable must be equals to 3 and more. Must be equal to 3 and more. Right? But in two-way ANOVA, okay, either one can be 2 or more. Okay, clear eh? This is for example.
Doktor ulang balik, tak dapat loh doktor, sorry.
Tak dapatlah pula.
Sorry doktor.
Tak apa. Okay. Again Okay, so again, in one-way ANOVA, okay, in one-way ANOVA, we only have one, we want to compare our DV according to only one categorical IV. Okay, so this is, for example, in one-way ANOVA, we have one categorical IV in which we want to compare this one according to the grouping. Okay, for example, so in one-way ANOVA, we need to remember that the number of group must be more than 2. Okay, in one-way ANOVA, the number of group for this one independent variable must be more than 2. Okay. But in two-way ANOVA, we add another second independent variable. Okay, in which this second independent variable, the number of group can be equals to 2 and more. Faham? The number of group can be equals to and more.
Okay, faham.
Okay, so for example here, we want to compare math achievement, okay, between class size and then we or between teaching method. Dua benda, we want to compare. Ada lagi satu. Okay, next one. Okay, next one, the requirement dulu. Okay, the requirement. So DV must be interval or ratio, scale of measurement. Okay, the dependent variable similar to one-way ANOVA, it must be interval or ratio scale of measurement. Okay, and then for two-way ANOVA, for factorial ANOVA, there is only one dependent variable. Dependent variable always equals to 1. Okay, the number of independent variable or factor, it must be nominal or ordinal scale of measurement, just similar to one-way ANOVA. But in terms of the number of IVs, okay, 2. Okay, so for two-way ANOVA, so means that there is 2 independent variable. Okay, for two-way ANOVA, there must be 2 independent variable. But in terms of the number of group, for each independent variable, K can be equals to 2 and more. Okay, clear? Yeah.
Clear doktor.
Okay, so next one is another purpose is we can know how IVs influence DV. Okay, through two-way ANOVA, we can determine how our IVs influence DV. In short, we can say we can come up with the conclusion of cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect.
Dia berguna dalam correlation study lah doktor Kalau kita buat
Okay, so again
salah lah tu. sorry.
Ni. Okay. So
okay.
So basically we use when we want to determine the cause and effect, we use experimental studies, okay, or quasi-experimental studies. If you use correlational study, we just determine the correlation or association between variables. And then when you come up with your conclusion, be careful with the use of term influence. I know that I also did the same mistake previously. Saya juga buat mistake yang sama. I always use the word influence because the right word is predictors. The right word is predictors. Yeah.
Meaning that MLR is for relationship only lah nak determine relationship only.
Prediction.
Dia ada faktor peramai kan doktor?
Yes, prediction. So if we use as a Pearson product moment correlation, we determine the association, right? If you use the Pearson product moment correlation or Spearman rank order, meaning that we can come up with the conclusion that there is an association between A and B but we cannot determine the flow of relationship. We cannot say the flow is from A to B or B to A. Then we use the regression to determine the flow of relationship, right? So in regression, we can determine the association, we can know the flow of relationship, and then we also can make prediction by using the equation of y equals to b naught plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 and so on. Itu dia punya purpose. So be careful bila kita guna perkataan influence. But as far as I know, until today, okay, the department still accept the word influence. Just to make you all know. Kalau untuk level undergrad, saya tak cakap benda ni, takut dia orang confused. Tapi untuk level you all, I think that it is the time for me to expose to you that regression, it's not the cause and effect analysis. Dia tak boleh menentukan kesan dan sebab dan penyebab. So be careful with the word influence. Tapi boleh lagi setakat ni diterima. Okay? Okay, clear
Faham, faham.
Okay.
I just want to share my experience because last time I submit one article. I also use the term influence in that article because I use a cross-sectional study and I use the multiple linear regression with the analysis. Then I use the term influence, factors influencing blah 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 blah. Okay, one of the reviewers comment. He or she said that the study is not cause and effect, so therefore you cannot use the term influence.
Doctor, if
yes.
Sorry, if in the title I use factors affecting.
Boleh. Be careful. Affecting tu dia lagi tinggi.
Aduh.
To be the
Because I use affecting.
To be safe, predictors of blah 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 blah. To be safe lah. To be safe. Predictors of blah 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 blah. Affecting ni, in terms of level influence, affect, effect, impact. Influence, affect, effect, impact. Impact ni most powerful. Impact ni somehow it is totally reflecting the cause and effect analysis. Dia sama juga influence tu. Maksudnya influence ni somehow it sounds like cause and effect. Right? So be careful. Term. Okay? But when as the result because that one just continue my story lah. So when I submit my revision because that one is a comment from reviewer. So they give me one chance to improve my paper lah. So then I improve my paper accordingly, but I disagree about the usage of influence. I said that I also refer to most good articles. They use also the term influence. Directly my paper being rejected after 2 days. After 2 days, they rejected my paper without any further comment. Okay, so just be careful lah. Kalau photos yang bukan quantitative, your examiner is non-quantitative quantitative reviewer, shouldn't be no problem. Biasanya kalau orang kualitatif macam Dr. Musyid ke, dia orang kualitatif dia tak faham sangat. Shouldn't be a problem. Tapi kalau dapat yang kuantitatif, be careful sikit. Kuantitatif maksudnya saya lah kalau dapat saya. Kesian. Tapi tak adalah condemn, okay? Okay, so next one, the assumption. Okay, first, normality. Okay, means that our dependent variable must be normally distributed. Okay, so in which data within each cells of the design are assumed to be normally distributed. If you're aware, the cells ni represent this one. Cell ni. Okay, per cell represent small class method. Small class sample 4, small class method B. Okay, saya buat balik. Sorry ya. For sample A, small class method A. Medium class, for sample 2 ni medium class method A. Sample 3, large class method A. Okay, so this is different cells. Okay, faham Okay, itu dulu, faham itu dulu. Ni satu-satu benda ni.
Ya, faham Doktor.
Alhamdulillah.
Slow sikit, slow.
Memang faham. Ni saya pun kena slowkan sikit. Tadi saya boleh laju because I know that you already have the experience. Okay, so second, equality of variance. So the population variances within each combination of factors should be equal. Okay, similar to one-way ANOVA. Okay, next, random samples. Okay, so subject should be randomly assigned to treatment combination. So treatment combination, because as I said, this two-factor ANOVA mostly being used in experimental study. Okay, so that's why we have the term treatment. Okay, experimentally, another example in social science, we use training. Training, for example. Okay, we conduct training. It is part of experimental study. Okay, and then independent sample, the observation are independent in that there are no repeated object or subject in any factor combination. So this is the criteria for independent sample, in which the sample must be independent from one and another. Okay. Okay. Ni apa ni? Inilah dia punya result if the two-way ANOVA yields inaccurate significant values if the independent assumption is violated. Okay, be careful sikit. Okay, so how the two-way ANOVA works? Okay, so this is a schematic picture of the one-way ANOVA. So in one-way ANOVA, we calculate the sum square total, sum square between, sum square within, mean square divide. Sum square between divide by degree of freedom, we get the mean square between. Sum square within divide by degree of freedom, we get the mean square within. Okay, so the purpose is we want to compare the between group lah. Okay, but this is the diagram summarizing the two-way ANOVA. Dia quite complicated sikit lah Sum square between, we still have the if for one-way ANOVA, we use the sum square total. But this one we use sum square between, we compare between the three groups. Okay, and then this is the first variable. And then this is the second variable. Sum square total. Okay, lebih kurang. Okay, so next one. Okay, ni total variability, tak apalah ni, nak laju. Ni tak apa. Degree of freedom, tak apa, boleh laju. Okay, so the two-way ANOVA summary table. So this is in one-way ANOVA, if I'm not mistaken, you also been introduced with the summary table. Okay, similar It just now, I introduce you with another term. Okay, so when we compare the result according to the grouping, okay, and according to the group, for example, group A, this one we call it as main effect. Main effect. Okay. Then if we compare by make sure that the grouping interacting, group A interact with group B, then the name is interaction effect. So ada dua benda lah two things. This one, main effect ni is just similar thing as what you did in one-way ANOVA. Just the term we use main effect. Okay. The interaction effect ni yang a little bit confusing. Tapi tak apa. Okay. So as the illustration. Now. Okay. So this is a factor A in which you have two categories, for example. Then you want to compare. Okay, this factor between A1, A2 related to DV. This one okay This one okay For first group. Interaction main effect. Main effect for factor A. Nama dia. Pening? Pening lalat ke dah pening?
Yang bawah tu apa doktor? A1, B.
Sabar dulu.
B1.
Tu sabar dulu. Hani faham Hani faham? Faham Ini first ni adalah main effect. Main effect for factor A, in which you compare the result of DV between A1 and A2. And then main effect for factor B, you compare the DV between B1 and B2, in which really similar, just similar to one-way ANOVA. So far so good? Okay. A1, when I mentioned about interaction effect, interaction effect. So interaction effect means that if A1 interacting with B1, so what is the result? If A1 interact with B1, what is the result of DV? A1, B2, A1 interact with B2. What is the result? Next one, if A2 interact with B1, so what is the result? If next one is A1 interact with B2. Betul ke saya ni? Hak ni, sorry, hak ni ke sini, hak ni ke sini. Yeah, this is what it means by interaction effect. Okay, I thought yang susah sikit will be this one lah. Okay, but as long as you know now the concept, we have main effect and we have the interaction effect. Main effect is just similar as in independent sample t-test or in one-way ANOVA, just similar. Interaction effect is just when factor A, when a grouping in factor A interacting with grouping in factor B. Itu je interaction effect dia. Okay, faham Okay. Faham dulu konsep dia, tak apa, slowly Okay, so for example, the research objective is we want to determine the effects of different note-taking methods. Okay, we want to know the effect of different note-taking methods on CGA for men and women. So now we have our dependent variable is GPA. So this is our dependent variable. The first independent variable is note-taking method. Okay, and then our second dependent variable is, our second independent variable is gender. Okay, so first note-taking method. Second one, second is gender. Okay, so this type of study, the name is 3x2 factorial design. Okay, 3x2.
Meaning have 2 DV.
Sama 2 DV. Sorry, 1 IV.
Oh, 2 DV.
Only 1 DV. Remember our
1 DV.
1 DV. Our DV is GPA, only 1.
Oh, okay.
Dah confused tu. Remember that in one-way ANOVA, in any ANOVA design, the dependent variable is always 1. Okay, but the number of factor ni varies according to the number of independent variable. Okay, for example, in one-way ANOVA means that you only have 1 independent variable. In two-way ANOVA, you have 2 independent variable. In three-way ANOVA, you have 3 independent variable and so on. Okay, okay, ni for example. So this one is level, this one level. So this one, the name is a 3x2 factorial design. Okay, so two-way ANOVA will allow researcher to test for mean differences in the experiment. Okay, so mean differences CGPA between different note-taking methods, which is just now we have 3, right? We have 3 methods. Ni. Ni kena clear sikit lah We have 3 methods, method A, method B and method C. 3 methods for note-taking. Okay, so this one, the name is main effect for method. The second one is we want to determine the mean differences in CGPA between men and women. Okay, which is our independent variable 2. Okay, the third one, okay, we want to determine is there any other mean differences that may result for unique combination of a specific note-taking method and a specific gender. Meaning to say that the name is interaction effect. Okay, so the interaction effect, kalau based on this one, if let's say method A, mana dah saya punya ni? Okay, method A been using by female. Alamak, male. Cakap male tapi tunjuk male. Okay, if method A been using by female, what is the result on GPA? Okay. If method B been applied by male, so what is the result of GPA? Clear? Do you now is it much clearer what is the definition of interaction?
Clear.
Faham Kita boleh tengok 2 benda interaksi. First IV dengan second IV, so what is the result on the DV? Okay. Next one. Okay. Okay, so in terms of statistical power, probability of finding a significant difference in a sample given difference between groups of a particular size and a specific sample size. Okay, so statistical power we calculate before. Tak apalah, ni tak payah. Ini laju. Okay, so again, the function of two-way ANOVA, we want to get the mean comparison between the main effect, which is the effect of IVs on the DV. And then the second one is the interaction effect, which is the interaction between IVs that cause changes in DV. Okay, so main effect and interaction effect. Okay. Next one. Okay, so types of effect in detail. Okay, so main effect, okay, effect of independent variable. It indicates a difference in the population and should this pattern be confirmed by statistical testing. Okay, so the main effect deal only with their own respective level. Okay, so how we can construct the hypothesis for main effect is just like what we learned in statistic class. Okay, hash naught equals to mu1 equals to mu2 and mu3 if you have the three groups. Okay, for research hypothesis, hash1 equals to mu1 not equal to mu2 and not equal to mu3. This is for research hypothesis. But for the interaction effect, okay, it is related to two-way interaction of two independent variable or factors. So how we can construct our hypothesis is the null hypothesis just hash naught mu1 not equals to mu2. Okay, and then sorry, this one for main effect. Sorry, tak ada kat sini contoh, tak apa. Okay, it is possible to have significant main effects but not have a significant interaction. So this is the the footnote . It is possible for you to have a significant main effect. You have a significant difference here for both factor, but you do not have a significant interaction effect. And the reverse is also possible, meaning to say you do not find any significant difference in main effect, but you find significant difference in interaction effect. This is also possible. Okay. Next one. Okay, so this is the hypothesis. Main effect settle lah . Main effect shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so this is the example of interaction effect hypothesis. Okay, so interaction between factor exists if the effect of one factor depends on the level of the second factor. So for example, there is no interaction effect between note-taking methods and gender on GPA. So this is the example for null hypothesis, which and then the research hypothesis is there is an interaction effect between note-taking methods and gender on GPA. Okay, senang je untuk yang interaction effect ni, hypothesis dia senang je. Okay, so research question for two-way ANOVA. Okay, so probably this is how you can construct your research question. Is that a main effect for IV of factor 1? Okay, for example, is that a main effect of gender? That is, do females and males differ significantly in number of points earned, and which group is higher than the other? Okay, is that a main effect for IV of factor 2? Okay, for example, is that a main effect for section? Do students in 3 sections differ significantly in point score in the class, and which section score higher than which? Okay, and then last one, is there a IV of factor 1 by IV of factor 2 interaction? So this is how you can construct your RQ for interaction effect. Okay, is there a gender bisection? Is there a gender bisection interaction? Is the influence of the two variables idiosyncratic such that in this case gender has one effect in a particular section but a different effect in different section? Okay, so perhaps females score significantly higher in section 1 than males, but males score significantly higher than females in section 3. So this is another example lah. Okay, so what you need to know, you need to run the analysis in IBM SPSS, identify the required statistics, okay, and then you report main effect and interaction effect. You need to report both, okay, and then you present your alpha, okay, decide and present, and lastly interpret and report your result. Okay. Okay, lastly, then you can report your confidence interval and effect size by using partial eta squared. Okay. Okay, so this is the example. Ini kena banyak contoh sikit. Okay, a study has been conducted to investigate how tall corn grows. how tall corn grows. Okay, under various conditions. Okay, the height of the corn in which in inch is the dependent variable. Okay, so the dV is height of corn, ketinggian jagung. Okay, so the researcher is interested in studying two independent variables. So the first variable is seed type, jenis jenis benih. Jenis benih. This one mostly probably been used in agriculture lah. Okay, so the researcher interested in okay, so the first variable is seed type. Okay, we have two type which is pearl and silver. Okay, and then the second type and the second DV is and the second IV is fertilizer type, jenis baja. Okay, which is two level of seaweed and fish. We have two, seaweed and fish. Okay, first question. Okay, test the main effect of seed and fertilizer. Test the main effect of seed and fertilizer type at 0.05 level of significance. Provide your answer according to the following items. Okay, state the null hypothesis, null and research hypothesis, run the analysis in IBM SPSS, and then identify the appropriate statistic to be reported, identify alpha, make decision and conclusion. Okay, and then the second one, okay, state the null and research hypothesis for interaction effect. Okay, first state the null and research hypothesis, run the analysis. Ni salah ni. Tak apalah. Okay, and then identify alpha, decision and conclusion. And lastly, prepare a write-up according to the SIG APA style. Okay, so in conclusion, this is our variable. We have two factors, which is seed type. We have two type, pearl and silver. Fertilizer type, we have two, seaweed and fish. And then our dependent variable is corn height. Okay, so let's proceed with first one. Okay, first to state the main effect hypothesis. Okay, state the null and research hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is it's easy. It's not mu for pearl equals to mu for silver, meaning that there is no significant difference lah. Okay, research hypothesis, mu pearl not equal to mu silver, or you can write it in a statement, which is population means are equal across different type of seed, which is pearl and silver, or research hypothesis is population means are not equal across different type of seed, which is pearl and silver. This is for the first main effect. Okay. Then you run the analysis and identify the appropriate statistic. Okay, so for example, after you run, then you get this data. Okay, so you get for mean for pearl mean 60. Okay, for silver seed you get the 40. In seaweed fertilizer, okay, seaweed fertilizer you got 60, 40. Ni lah. So this is the finding. Okay. Okay, so you identify the alpha, which is 0.05. Okay, and then you make decision. Okay, so according to the result, you failed to reject H0 because by looking at the column mean, we found that in figure 1, we find that the value is 50 inch for both sides of C, meaning that there is no significant difference. Okay, according to row means ni. Okay, the height is similar, so meaning that either you use pearl seed or silver seed, there is no significant difference. Sorry, this one. Okay, clear? Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay, so therefore there is no significant in height, and we conclude that there is no main effect due to seed type. Okay, this one for seed type. Okay, so second one for fertilizer type. Okay, we mentioned our research and null hypothesis. Okay, population means are equal across different type of fertilizer for the null hypothesis, and population means are not equal across different type of fertilizer for research hypothesis. And then according to the result, okay, based on the row means, we see that the size of corn is similar across seaweed fertilizer, so 50-50. Okay. We set our alpha, and then based on the result, we also failed to reject H0 because the data indicate no differences in the height of corn when fertilized with these two fertilizer types. So this is shown by the row mean height of 50 inch for both fertilizer type. Okay, so in conclusion, there is no difference in height, and we conclude that there is no main effect due to fertilizer type. Okay, so now interaction effect. Okay, so we mentioned the null and research hypothesis. Okay, for now, there is no interaction effect between fertilizer and type of seed. Meanwhile, for our research hypothesis, we mentioned that there is an interaction effect between fertilizer type and seed type. Okay, so based on the result, okay, this is our result. Okay, so if we use pearl seed and then we use seaweed fertilizer, so the result of our corn height is 60. Okay, the corn result is 60. If we use the pearl seed in fish fertilizer, the corn height is 40. Meanwhile, if we use the silver seed and then in seaweed fertilizer, the corn height is 40. And then if we use silver seed and fish fertilizer, okay, and then the height is 60. Okay, so this is the finding. Okay, so next one, set alpha and make decision. Okay, so in this case, we have to reject the null hypothesis because pearl seed corn grows taller than seaweed fertilizer is used. Sorry, pearl seed corn grows taller when seaweed fertilizer is used. As we can see, okay, when we use the seaweed fertilizer, it grows taller compared to when we use the fish fertilizer in pearl seed. Okay, but if we use the silver seed and then the fish fertilizer ni will provide the higher corn compared to seaweed fertilizer. Okay, so that's why for the interaction effect we have to reject the null hypothesis because there is a significantly different. Okay, so therefore there is an interaction effect between seed and fertilizer type. Okay. So for effect size, we can either report eta squared, partial eta squared, omega squared, or partial omega squared. So there are 4 options for you. Okay, so you can report either one. So this is the scale. Okay, so eta squared is a measure of the percentage of variance in the dependent variable accounted for by the independent variable. Okay, and is similar to R squared in linear regression. So SPSS does not calculate eta squared, but it is easy to calculate. For every F and P value, you can calculate eta squared with this equation only. Okay, you just plug in the value into this equation, then you can get that. You can directly get the effect size. Okay, ni lajulah. Okay, so another example. Okay, ni. Okay, so example, the researcher wish to investigate whether there is a difference in the whitening powder of Mighty Good and Supermax detergent. Okay, they also wish to investigate if there is a significant main effect of the whiteness of clothes when washed in hot or cold water. Okay, ada dua lah So we have 2 IVs. Okay, first detergent, the second one is water temperature, hot or cold. Okay. So in conclusion, so this is our variable. We have 2 factors, whitening powder and water temperature. So our dependent variable is clothes with wetness. Okay. Okay. Laju. Okay, so the first question, we just mentioned our main effect and main effect for factor 1 hypothesis and hypothesis for main effect for second factor. Okay. Okay, so to run the analysis, ni saya rasa saya ada bagi data ke tak? Tak ada Saya tak bagi data kan?
Tak ada.
Sekejap Tak, saya cari data tu. Saya cari data ni. Okay, so I will share in our chat box. Sorry, forgot to share this one. Okay, I've shared in our chat box the data related to two-way ANOVA. Receive or not? Chat box. Okay, download the data and then we run it, we do it concurrently. Done? Done? Ready? Okay, to run the analysis of two-way ANOVA in IBM SPSS, that is the type of data that we need. It is quite different lah, Okay, so you click analyze and then click general linear model, GLM. Okay, analyze, GLM, general linear model, and click univariate. Analyze, general linear model, and univariate. Okay. Then after that, you locate the variable whiteness under your dependent variable. Locate your locate whiteness under your dependent variable, and then another IV is detergent and water. Locate detergent and water under fixed factor. Okay, whiteness under DV, detergent and water under fixed factor. Okay, and then you click plots. Click plots. Okay. For plots under horizontal axis, you locate detergent. Horizontal axis, locate detergent. For separate lines, you locate water. Okay, and then click add. Move the factor with more levels here. Okay, detergent, water. Okay, just to add the note, for horizontal axis and separate line, okay, if you have different number of grouping, okay, between the two independent variable, then you locate the variable with higher number of grouping under the horizontal axis. Horizontal axis. Okay, grouping variable with lesser number of grouping, you locate under separate line. Okay, clear? Okay. And then click add. Okay, click add. Okay, and then click continue. Make sure you make sure it is appear like this, detergent, and then times water. Okay, and then click continue. Okay, and then click option. Okay, click continue and then click option. Okay, and then for display means you choose detergent, water, and then detergent times water. Display means 4 ni. Okay, detergent, water, and then detergent times water. For confidence interval adjustment, please use LSD. None, LSD none. Okay, and then for this for display, you tick for descriptive statistic and estimate of effect size. And then homogeneity test. Significant level at 0.05. Okay, and then click continue. Okay, and then click OK.
Doktor tak dapat yang option tadi, doktor.
Option?
Option tu. Klik descriptive, estimates of effect size.
And homogeneity of
test. Okay.
Significant level 0.05. Ni by default, right? And then click continue. Okay, and then click OK. Ada sikit note. Okay, this is another note lah. For analysis that involve IVs with a number of group larger or equals to 3 groups, okay, if the analysis involve one variable, any of your IVs which is that is more than 3 groups, you need to click on post hoc. But in our previous earlier example, we only have two categories for each IVs. But just when the case that you have more, one of your IVs has more than 2. More than 3. Okay, you make sure you click post hoc. Okay, make sure you click for post hoc. Ini lajulah sebab kebetulan tak ada. Okay, and then after that you get your finding. So this is your finding between subject factors, and then you have and then second table is descriptive statistic. Okay, so based on descriptive statistic, okay, the cell means are important for interpreting factorial ANOVAs and describing the result. So this is what we need later in our reporting. Okay. Okay, so this provide the mean score, standard deviation and N for each subgroup. Check that these values are correct. So this you can use this one to check either you entered the correct data lah. So this one boleh pass laju sikit. Okay, so next one is Levin test of equality of error variance. Okay, so this one you can check for homogeneity of variance for two-way ANOVA. Okay, so since the value is 0.360, which is larger than alpha, so we assume that our data met the assumption of equality of variance. Okay, so settle. Okay, so if the result violates the assumption of equality of variance, it is recommended that you set a more stringent significant level. Okay, meaning that if this is not significant, then you decrease the value of alpha. Okay, for evaluating the result of two-way ANOVA. Okay, so next one is the main output. The first table, test of between subject, indicate the main output. Okay, so we have three things here. Alamak, tak keluar lah pula saya punya ni. Okay, so the first one, detergent. This is the main effect for type of detergent. Sorry saya punya slideshow ni tak jadi. Okay, detergent. So this is the main effect for type of detergent. Okay, so this is the F value and significant F. So based on the result, okay, so see the significant F, okay, larger than alpha 0.05. Therefore, there is no significant mean difference between type of detergent and clothes whiteness. Okay, and then second one, water, for main effect for type of water. So this is the F value which is equals to 21.102 and significant F 0.000. Okay, so since the significant value is 0.000 lesser than alpha 0.05, therefore there is a significant mean differences in water, in type of water towards clothes whiteness. Okay, and then third one is detergent, interaction between detergent and water, sorry. Okay, so this is the individual. Do you get similar result?
Yes.
Okay, first detergent so this is the result for detergent. Okay, this one, water, detergent times water. By the way, did you get similar graph?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the result for detergent, the interaction between detergent and water. So it is illustrated in the graph. If you use the cold water, okay, okay, and then by using the first detergent, mighty detergent, cold water, mighty detergent, okay, and then you compare with Supermax, cold water in Supermax, okay, which means that in cold water, Supermax perform better compared to Mighty Good. Am I correct? Betul kan? Increase ni kan? Yang hijau ni. This one. This is first type. Okay, when you use Mighty Good, so the result is this one. Okay, 60 something. Ni, 61 Mighty, 61. Okay, this one in cold water. But when you use Supermax, in cold water, okay, the cloth whiteness is better. Right? Faham tak? Faham tak macam mana nak baca graf tu?
Tak faham doktor.
Putra buku kod tu. Okay, again. Okay, so this is, as you can see here, green indicate cold water, blue indicate hot water. This one is cold. Okay, this one is hot. Yeah. Now, if we want to know the clothes whiteness according to different type of detergent, which is we have two, Mighty Good and Supermac, and different type of water. We have hot and cold. For example, okay, when we use the Mighty Good, the first brand, Mighty Good, in cold water. This is the brand, we use Mighty Good detergent in cold water. So the result is 61. How do I know 61? Here, ni. Okay. So the 61. But when I use the second brand, which is Supermac, in cold water, the clothes whiteness increase to 64.
Oh, nampak.
Allah, lambatnya. Lambatnya. Ya, Masya Allah. Okay. This is what it means by interaction. Okay, and then the second one, when I use the Mighty detergent in hot water, so the cloth whiteness only 45. Meanwhile, if I use Supermax in hot water, okay, the result will be 52. So in this case, we can conclude that Supermax perform better than Mighty Good in hot and cold water. Ni kan nampak cause and effect kesan dia tu. Okay, the interaction. Okay, ni boleh baca sedang. Okay, so for this analysis ni nampak ni, further analysis required. Because in this result, it just give you the mean. Compared to the previous table, they provide you with the significant value. See tak perasan? Right? Are you aware that previous result provide you with the significant value? But why the interaction effect, they do not give you any significant value? Are you aware? Ada tak? Ada? Tak ada? Ada tak? Tak ada kan? So there is another analysis that you need to do. Okay, go to your data set again. Click analyze, click general linear model and click univariate. Analyze, general linear model and univariate. Done?
Done, doktor.
Okay, and then after that, okay, ni sama. Okay, include whiteness under your dependent variable, detergent and water under your fixed factor. Okay, next one. You need to click paste. Paste. Click paste.
Okay.
Okay, and then so this command appear in your command output. Am I correct? Appear tak ni?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so then under this one, you type compare. Add another instruction here. Ni becomes like this. Compare detergent. Add this one. Okay. Under this sentence, ni this one. Ni you add compare detergent. Type this one. This one we have to do it manually. Okay. Type compare detergent. Then just exactly like this. Become like this. Ni. This one. Then compare capital letter. And then detergent. Then done And then belum lagi. No, not. Done. No?
Compare detergent.
Compare detergent. Compare capital letter and open bracket, detergent and close bracket. Just type exactly like this. Dan?
Doktor kena jarak ke type underscore tu?
Jarak.
Jarakkan je?
Space, yes, space.
Space. Okay.
Space. Dan?
Dan doktor.
Okay. Tunggu satu lah lamanya. Okay. So then, after that, you click ni. You click the green arrow on your top of your heading. Click.
Okay.
And then run the selection. And then you can see now the interaction result. Did you get this?
Oh, yes.
So now we have the interaction result. Tadi tak habis. Nak mencari macam mana nak dapat ni. Hey. Okay. So this is our finding, our interaction finding. Okay. So based on the result ni, we can see that, okay, there is no significant interaction effect for all. Okay, significant value ni lesser still. There are interaction effect, but the interaction effect considered to be insignificant. Okay, so we set the alpha 0.01 or 0.05. Okay, so this is the decision for main effect. Okay, so for main effect 1, since the significant F 0.123 larger than alpha 0.05, so we fail to reject H naught, meaning that there is no significant difference in type of detergent. Okay, but meanwhile for significant for the factor second factor, so since significant F 0.000 lesser than alpha 0.05, therefore we reject H naught, means that there is a significant difference in type the clothes whiteness in different type of water. Okay, but this one for the conclusion for main effect, detergent, second water. Okay, so there is no significant main effect for type of detergent, and then for second one there is significant main effect for water temperature or type of water. Okay, for this one, the question 2A state the H naught and HA interaction effect ni. Okay. This one. Okay, so this is for the interaction effect. Ini laju lah. Detergent. Okay, so based on overall result, we can see here that there is no interaction effect. Okay. And then set alpha. Okay, so since the significant F 0.576 larger than alpha 0.05, so we fail to reject H naught, means that there is no interaction effect between type of water and type of detergent. Okay, this is the conclusion lah. Okay, so this is the APA presentation. Okay, so for two-way ANOVA table summary, this is similar to one-way ANOVA. Then you need to add another table, which is the descriptive statistic, the statistic for a two-way ANOVA. So in which you need to include the mean for all. Okay, for hot water, for cold water, mighty good and supermax. Okay, and then you need also to report the this graph. Even though there is no significant interaction effect, but by using the graph, you can see that there is effect. Right, there is an interaction effect. The interaction effect is not significant, but you can see from the table. From the graph. Okay, and then this is the interpretation. A 2x2 two-way ANOVA was performed using IBM SPSS General Linear Model GLM to assess whether clothes whiteness, which is Y, could be predicted from different types of detergent, which is Mighty Good and Supermax. So different water temperature, hot and cold, and the interaction between types of detergent and types of water. As can be seen from table 1, there is no significant difference in clothes whiteness between different types of detergent. Okay, and partial eta squared 0.065 indicates moderate effect size. Meanwhile, there is a significant main effect of type of water. Okay, partial eta squared 0.370 indicates large effect size. So further analysis on the types of detergent times interacted with type of water indicated that there is no statistically significant F ratio for the interaction effect. Okay. Ni dia punya presentation of finding. Okay, so we are done for two-way ANOVA. Any questions so far? Cukuplah hari ni. Any question for two-way ANOVA? Okay, so two-way ANOVA ni rather than just studying about detergent or something that looks like really science stream, it is also can be applied when you use training, for example. When you conducted a training and then you want to know the training effectiveness between different types of training method used. For example, first perhaps you have training method that been conducted face to face. Second one, training method that used through online. The third method is the combination between face to face and online. So then you can know between these three types, so which one is more effective to your participant. Satu training effectiveness, and then perhaps you may add another variable which is the gender of your trainer. Contoh trainer's gender, contoh male or female. Then you can check which one can be can be better when presenting their training. Itu salah satulah in practice kalau kita biasa buat. Okay, so any other question related to two-way ANOVA? No. Okay, so if there is no more question, we stop here today. This lagi belum buat assignment, belum ada soalan. Should be no problem. Okay, by the way, just to let you know, okay, next week we are not having any class because next week will be our midterm break, okay, and also Hari Raya. Okay, and then also just to let you know that another week pun we are not going to have a class because I will be on holiday for 2 weeks. Cuti lah 2 minggu penat. Cuti lah 2 minggu, dah lah tak balik kampung.
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, so minggu ni, minggu depan dengan minggu lagi satu kita tak ada kelas. Okay, sebab kita pun laju sikit ni. Dah minggu ni pun dah lecture note minggu 9-10 dah habis dah pun. Laju saya hari ni sebab tak ada soalan pun nak tanya.
Belum part correlation lagi Doktor. Mesti banyak soalan.
But macam last year bila saya mengajar ni minimum mengambil dua masa untuk ajar ni. Tapi ni satu masa je, 2 jam je settle. Laju saya ni sebab insyaAllah I think that all of you already got the basic code. So it much easier lah lagi satu tunggu je dapat soalan nanti. Okay, so with that we postpone our class and then see you 3 weeks after. Okay, next 3 weeks. Okay, so take care guys and selamat Hari Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya, Doktor.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Jangan lupa mark your attendance ya. Jangan lupa mark your attendance. Okay, so Assalamualaikum. Bye.
Salam.
Bye.